Sometimes buying a house does not make sense. I have a client who rents her home like she doesn't own her own home, but she buys rental properties, and to me, that makes perfect sense because it's all about the local market where you're living or investing. Right now in home buying, there is a big affordability problem, not just because of interest rates, but also because home prices skyrocketed over the past few years. So now we have this big affordability crisis. So if you are currently renting and you're doing the math and you're like, whoa, like my mortgage is going to be significantly more than renting, don't buy a house. And I have no reason to be telling you this because I am literally a realtor. I make money when people buy houses with me, but I'm telling you, in your best interest, don't fall into the hype of just like, oh, you have to buy a house, you have to buy a house. Should you buy property? Yes, maybe. Sometimes it makes sense, sometimes it doesn't. There are actually a lot of scenarios where it doesn't make sense to actually buy a house. I am a big advocate for buying real estate as a way to build wealth and eventually generate passive income for yourself. That doesn't just have to be accomplished through buying a home for yourself to live in. Is that the easiest way sometimes? Yeah, it is, because you can put less money down, which means it's more accessible. You don't have to put 20-30% down on a property. You can put as little as 3% down on a property. You don't have to buy your own home before you start investing in real estate. Owning a home for yourself to live in is not a prerequisite to real estate investing. Like my own client is doing it. She doesn't own her home in California, but instead she rents her home and she chooses to invest in a rental property in Austin, Texas. Because this market that I am local to, although it makes sense for me to buy a home here because I can afford it, market just makes sense for what my long-term real estate investing goals are. Some other people in very expensive markets, you should rent. You should not buy a home. If you know that real estate investing is the way that you want to build wealth, or one of the ways that you want to diversify your wealth building portfolio, I suggest that you start looking at other real estate markets that are not local to you, because being local to a real estate market is also not a prerequisite for buying real estate in that market. People invest out of state all the time. People invest in different cities all the time. It can be done. And actually, a lot of the investors that I work with as a realtor are not from Austin.